U.S. President Donald Trump shook the world agenda with his decision to impose 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico. While many believe Trump was primarily targeting North America, the real surprise turned out to be China. The Trump administration announced that it would impose an additional 10% tariff on Chinese goods as of February 1, 2025, and the president signed the decision into law. Thus, a new chapter in the U.S.-China trade war was opened. Why has Trump taken such a hard stance on China again? How did China respond to the U.S. tariffs? How will this tension between the world's two largest economies unfold? We will now analyze China's response to Trump and explore these critical questions in depth. February 1, 2025, will be seen as a turning point in the global economy. Trump's simultaneous targeting of China, the European Union, Canada, and Mexico with tariffs altered the economic balance in an instant. However, China is not willing to accept this without retaliation. China is a global powerhouse in many industries, from electric vehicles to rare earth materials and raw resources. Now, Beijing is responding forcefully to Trump's tariffs. Chinese officials had previously signaled their discontent with U.S. trade policies. In response, Beijing imposed tariffs on agricultural and high-tech products from the U.S., and it appears a similar course of action will be taken again. Moreover, China hinted at retaliating against the U.S. technology sector by imposing export restrictions on strategic minerals such as gallium and germanium, which are essential for electric vehicles and batteries. China has now escalated its countermeasures, raising tariffs on U.S. goods to 75%, a move that has stunned the global market. The long-standing trade war between these two economic giants has now entered a new phase. This phase has led many to wonder, are these two countries headed for an irreversible trade rupture? At the center of these tariffs are key industrial products such as electric vehicles, their batteries, and semiconductor components. This is a crisis that will impact the entire global market. On the U.S. side, Trump has consistently played the tariff card since taking office. If we can't make a deal with China, then the tariffs will be very, very substantial, Trump declared. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it. So I'm taking on China. I'm taking on China on trade. And you know what? We're winning. His latest round of high tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China has already caused economic turmoil. But China is not sitting idly by. At first, Beijing urged patience, saying, "Wait a minute." But now, it seems to have lost its restraint. A 75% tariff increase is virtually unprecedented in world trade history. Such drastic moves often lead to major economic crises. This latest development is a clear sign that the economic war could escalate further. With China's retaliation, Washington has been forced into a strategic reassessment and is scrambling to prepare new countermeasures. So why are electric vehicles at the center of this crisis? In recent years, the U.S. has identified electric vehicles as the industry of the future and has provided strong support to domestic brands like Tesla, while imposing restrictions on Chinese competitors. China is already the world's leading producer of electric vehicle batteries. Not only does it dominate the lithium-ion battery market, but it has also built a massive domestic production capacity with brands such as BYD and NIO. Now, China's response to U.S. tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, batteries, and critical minerals is designed to place American automakers at a disadvantage. Beijing's retaliation is clearly aimed at striking the heart of U.S. industry. And it's not just about electric vehicles. China has also hinted at imposing additional tariffs on strategic products such as raw materials, semiconductor components, and rare earth elements. These elements are vital for producing modern technology, from smartphones to wind turbines. As a result, China is effectively signaling, "I have a monopoly on production. If you impose tariffs on me, I will disrupt your tech giants." This is a clear warning. In the U.S., concerns are rising about the potential impact on inflation. Many consumer goods, as well as semi-finished products made in China, are essential to American retailers and factories. With the new tariffs increasing the cost of imported parts, production costs will rise. This could be reflected in higher consumer prices, especially in the electric vehicle market, where battery costs are already a major concern. American automakers are worried. We were supposed to accelerate the green transformation, but now we risk going backward due to rising production costs, industry leaders warn. Major companies, from Tesla to Ford, rely heavily on Chinese battery components or raw materials. It remains uncertain how they will adjust their supply chains. Perhaps they will shift production to countries like India or Vietnam, but restructuring supply networks is no simple task. Electric vehicles have become the central symbol of this struggle, representing both advanced technology and environmental progress. For years, China has nurtured this industry domestically, growing its market share and becoming a global leader. The US is pushing back, saying it cannot allow such a strategic sector to be dominated by China. China, in response, is saying, if you attack my companies, my batteries, or my rare earth elements, I will impose a 75% tariff on your goods. At this point, the electric vehicle battery supply chain has become one of the most critical battlegrounds in this trade war. What could be the consequences? Rising electric vehicle prices in the US. Supply shortages. Manufacturers scrambling to find alternative sources for batteries. On the Chinese side, reduced export revenues and declining market share in the US are potential risks. With both sides refusing to back down, we may be heading toward a scenario where neither truly wins. Trade wars often lead to higher prices, reduced consumption, slower economic growth, and hardship for consumers and businesses alike. This trade conflict also has wider geopolitical implications. The global economy is already facing uncertainty due to tensions between Russia and Ukraine, Europe's energy crisis, and OPEC's production decisions. If the US-China trade war intensifies, the risk of a worldwide recession will increase. International institutions like the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank have urged nations to ease trade barriers, but it remains unclear how effective these appeals will be. Trump remains steadfast. I promised my voters I would protect American manufacturers. This is the simplest way. Meanwhile, Chinese President Xi Jinping insists, we will not accept this. We will defend our independence. So, will the 10% tariff be permanent? Could it go even higher? Some speculate that tariffs could rise to 20%, or even 60% for Chinese goods. For now, the announced rate is 10% starting February 1st, but the future remains uncertain. Experts warn that prolonged tariffs could harm the US economy, but Trump and his team believe the country will benefit in the long run. For now, the most talked about figure is China's 75% retaliation. But details remain unclear. Ultimately, a major trade showdown is imminent, and both sides are standing firm. Will they reach a compromise? Or will this economic conflict escalate further? Time will tell, but one thing is certain, the global economy is bracing for impact. That's all for this video. Thank you for staying with us. For in-depth analysis, subscribe now.